Exactly. You know, she's going to be able to sense that you're here and she knows you're her mom. And so that's definitely the best thing for her, is for you to be involved and be here as much as possible.
I pretty much used the whole pregnancy. I was scared to death to go to the hospital because I knew what was going to happen, and I had to be responsible for my actions and actually stop using and try to get help. She just ate. I know she's not hungry. By the time I got in there, I was about 30 weeks along, and the baby basically is formed, completely formed, and I was terrified that what if something's wrong with her? What if she's deformed? She has a mental problem. I knew she was going to have withdrawal.
It makes it a lot more serious.
Yeah.
I think that's why we were in
That's
the
why you get
position we were
high,
in.
to cover it up.
Who would like to go next?
I'll go. Mine says my biggest regret is definitely putting my kids on the back burner and thinking that everything was going to be okay and that nobody would notice and they wouldn't notice or it wouldn't affect them. But now, obviously, it's affected them the most. You don't want to be that person that goes in and says, hey, I have a problem and I'm pregnant and I've been using drugs. Because as a mother, you're supposed to protect your child, no matter what. My 8-year-old doesn't have his mommy and he's never had his dad. Cambry, of course, she was born addicted to Subutex, and so was Imani, and he just turned 2, and his daddy passed away, so literally I've took everything that is important to them and at the age that they are away from them. I was using marijuana and heroin, and no one knew it. My family, I hid it from them for the longest time.
And it sucks sometimes.
That's the longest I've been clean in a really long time. It wasn't until I lost my job, lost my car, that I had to move in with them, my parents, and that's when they found out about my addiction.
Are your boys with your family?
Yeah, they're with my dad and my mom, my stepmom. She raised me. And now they have custody, well, temporary guardianship of my 8 and 2-year-old, and I really desperately want that back. And so that's part of why I'm here, was to try to make that possible.
Parents want their kids back. I get it. As parents, we feel that no one else can raise our kids better than what we can, all right?
But rushing it, you can damage.
But rushing it can cause more damage than what you are ready for.
There is a lot of trauma caused, but they'll always love their mama. And so we get this false illusion that we need to strive for the big goal and then we don't celebrate the little ones. Walking through this door, choosing recovery now, having a healthy baby, those are all things that should be celebrated. And don't get discouraged because you're not at your end goal yet. Just keep taking these steps.
Why don't you put in one for today? Put in one now. Because the baby's on an oscillator. I want to see. You can't just wait 2 days. The baby's on the oscillator. Things change. Neonatal withdrawal syndrome or abstinence syndrome occurs when a baby has been exposed to mostly an opioid in utero during gestation, and then it's abruptly removed once the placenta is removed or the cord is cut. And so all of a sudden, you get withdrawal. Now the reason for that is during the period of time that the baby is being subjected to a substance, this substance, heroin or Subutex or some sort of opioid, the receptors are blocked. And within a couple of days, the baby may exhibit symptoms of withdrawal. We could have continued the morphine. Here in this hospital, we tend to use methadone just because that's the drug we use. So can we start to wean this baby? He's been on this particular dose for 3 days, 3 or 4 days. In the gastrointestinal tract, for instance, you may have vomiting and diarrhea. They're not tolerating the feeding. They may be sweating profusely. Some of them even look like they're having seizure activity, because any little stimulus will cause them to go into a frantic state of overactivity. These are very difficult to console, these babies. In terms of long-term effects, no one really knows. He is eating and he's sleeping and he's consolable. So that's the goal when you're treating a baby with neonatal abstinence syndrome or neonatal withdrawal syndrome. If you understand that addiction is a disease process and not condemn these people with, all of the stigma that's associated with use of drugs, then perhaps we might get these people back, people who are using substances, to comply with the rehabilitation requests. And if you can get those people to comply with that, then I think we have a chance of preventing the syndrome later on. Let me get in between there and then.
There are so many women out there who are scared to come and get help because they don't want their babies taken. They don't want to be looked at as, a junkie or a drug addict that doesn't deserve treatment or help or even happiness. If you want to, you can.
Can we help you swaddle her?
Yes. You always do better than me. I'm learning at it
Oh,
still.
you're doing a fine job.
And we do deserve our children. So we're people too. We might have made a mistake, but we can definitely learn from that and want to better ourselves. Yeah, she just got finished eating.
Was it the 9:30 feed?
Yes. Now I'm just really happy that there are programs that have been made because of this. She ate and then.
Has she been spitting up any?
No, she spit up just a regular amount after she got done. I burped her, but she's fine. Looks a lot better than if I tried.
Oh no. There you go.
Now she'll go
Did
to
you already
sleep.
grab those linens?
And that's where it's really exciting that we have a specialized unit now where we can take the baby out of the NICU environment, bring them on a unit, which is baby steps, where it's, quiet, hopefully a more home-like environment where the family can be comfortable and we can provide them the support that they need to learn about their baby.
She doesn't have any loose stool or anything. She's actually doing really good. And hopefully they can lower her dose of medicine today, if not tomorrow.
Baby Steps has 8 beds. We have the capability in 4 of those rooms to allow a primary caregiver, hopefully his mom, staying 24 hours a day. And we're just trying to tear down the walls that might be blocking her toward recovery. So if it's a snack or, maybe she needs some clothing or additional resources in her community or transportation, we are just kind of including all of those different pieces to help her be successful in her path to recovery because she needs to be the best mom that she can be for her baby.
This is the one that came with the car seat. Like, what in the heck? How's that going to support her head? So we took it out and we have this one over here. It doesn't quite match, but are those safe?
Oh, yeah.
If it weren't for Baby Steps and Pregnancy Connections, I wouldn't be able to have my daughter right now. And I definitely probably would not be clean or even trying, but it gives me hope. They're just adjusting the straps and all that jazz.
Okay, so I've got all her papers. If you guys want to sit down and get comfortable.
Yeah, sure. Of course, I look forward to it more than anything in the world, just to be able to take her home.
She was here for the withdrawal, so it's not uncommon to still continue to see those
Right.
symptoms. Even though she's weaned off her medicine, she still may be irritable, intolerant to a lot of light and sound.
Just to be able to take your baby in her own room and rock them and basically take complete ownership and do it all on your own. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
You're free. Yay.
That's exciting. And just, get to enjoy her with her father and just get to look her over and, bye, you guys. Count all of her fingers and toes and just I'm looking forward to all of that. Right.
You were practicing with that earlier.
Yes.
She latches into the stroller, you should hear the click.
Right. Okay. Aha. That was easy.
Yep.
I didn't become an addict overnight, and I didn't lose my children overnight. So I need to work hard and do what I'm supposed to do and step up and grow up and realize that I can't stomp my feet and have my way anymore and that you have to try hard to get things that you want.
It's a baby.
And you need to surround yourself around people that you want what they have. So if I can continue to surround myself around addicts and people that are risking their lives every day for a temporary high that you feel even worse when it leaves, or surrounding myself by people who have a house, a home, a vehicle, a job, their children. Like, most people call that boring, but I would rather have boring every day than to live this life of a drug addict.
Hey, Kaylee.
We're glad to be home. Yeah. It was really nice at the hospital, but it's good to be home.